up? It's Kryptonite Kyle here with my boys.
Crimson Chris.
And the Supreme B-Man.
We're here to talk about Godzilla, the movie. We recently saw it in IMAX 3D, and from my own personal experience, let me say, regardless of what other people say, it was really badass. You're going to see a Godzilla movie, you need to know that you're going to see a monster movie, so therefore get ready for some ridiculous plot holes, some crazy stuff that doesn't make any sense, but in the monster world it makes perfect sense, and monsters kicking ass. And I think I got that, and I was thoroughly enjoyed.
Oh, dude, let me just say this right now. One of my favorite things about seeing this movie, outside of it just being supremely badass, excuse me, B-Man, was the fact that the graphics were amazing, man.
They were good.
Every time you saw Godzilla, it wasn't raining, so you didn't have, like, Lawrence of America's really annoying thing about there being rain all the time, you know? When there's really big giant robots or monsters fighting people, there wasn't a lot of rain.
Like
you saw that like one time in Pacific Rim. You didn't have that problem.
That's true.
Godzilla looked freaking amazing.
Yeah.
That's the first time, no, that's the third time I've seen Godzilla in a movie, and I was just like, you know what? He is the baddest MF I've ever seen.
And they even said it at the end of the movie when they have the clip. It says King of the Monsters.
It does say that.
The man.
Perfect, which is
Godzilla.
Perfect. It's perfect.
What you got to say?
What you got?
You already know what I'm going to say. It's pretty obvious what I'm going to mention. I mean, I've pretty much dedicated the entire month to this monster. I mean, he's the king, obviously. I drew a huge poster picture of the King of the Monsters. I review trade back throwbacks of the King of the Monsters, and I talk about the King of the Monsters anytime I give, and damn well do it. But I will say this, I love this movie. Godzilla never looked any better than he has before.
Yeah.
I mean, he's basically, this Godzilla is based off the 1954 Godzilla. I mean, if anybody who would take the time to do some research of Godzilla, you know, and probably watch the original Gojira movie, they would know exactly what they're getting into.
Yeah.
And
I agree.
I don't mean, you know.
It's not even that, man. If you've ever watched any Godzilla movie aside from the giant pile of dog-smeared crap that came out in the 90s, if you watch any other Godzilla movie prior to that and after that, then you know what you're getting into. With every Godzilla movie, you see a little bit of Godzilla at the beginning, just a little hint of Godzilla to know that he's around. You get a bunch of people and their story and how they're dealing with these giant monsters in this world. And then you get monster action, man.
Yep,
and I will say this.
kick-assery.
This is a spoiler alert video, by the way, so if you have not seen the movie, fast
Turn it off
forward,
now.
turn it off, watch something else, whatever.
for real.
But when we see the Mutos in this movie, like, I read the Godzilla Awakening comic that you reviewed
good.
last
I
week.
did too.
So
Thank you.
I was
It's good.
expecting
Thank
to
you.
see them, but I didn't know they had freaking EMPs, man.
Oh, yeah. I didn't
think
And I
they
didn't know
could
there was
do
going to
that
be a
either.
female looking that huge. And Godzilla freaking choke slammed a monster, dude.
Exactly.
I've never seen that
Through
before.
the building.
And when you
Chokeslammed
see
a
him-
monster and shrugged his shoulders like he was ready for the fight. Like,
He
that's
was
so,
ready.
dude, this movie
was
is
freaking
so
ready.
sick. It's such a good monster movie.
Let me
I
ask you.
know.
Let me ask both of you fellas a question for the viewers. When you saw Godzilla's tail light up,
Dude.
for the first time, did you shit your pants?
Boom, boom,
Dude.
boom, 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 boom.
It lighted up in the darkness and got to his head, and you saw what was about to go down, and it was like Christmas.
Dude.
Like, you're just in the seat going, yes! Then we
Just-
know exactly what he's gonna do.
Just for you
It's
guys'
so
enjoyment.
amazing.
Just so you guys know, like, we all saw this movie together.
Oh,
and
it
when
was
that
so
part
good.
came up, we were like little kids, like, yay!
Yeah.
Clapping and
Yep.
everything. It
Dude,
was
my
ridiculous.
knees buckled when that happened.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not even gonna
Dude,
lie.
there's
to you.
another shot in the movie that was so sick, and it's like one of the first times you see the Muto versus Godzilla. It's at the airport.
Oh,
yeah.
Another spoiler, I'm sorry. But the Muto rolls in, screws up an airplane, it blows up, starts blowing up a chain reaction of other airplanes.
Yeah.
The pan across is so beautiful. There's no cuts. It's like monster, destruction, 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 Godzilla leg, back pan out, time to rumble.
Yeah,
Dude, it's so
well, that's the first time you see
good.
Godzilla full on, and the first time you see Godzilla full on is the most satisfying entrance to any character I've ever seen in my life.
Yep.
And
Dude,
considering
he
to
was
hear
like,
it,
he was like Batman. Dude.
and hearing it in IMAX never sounded any
that was
better.
coming. Yeah.
I mean, I saw this movie twice.
Yeah, dude.
I saw it
Oh,
in IMAX.
By the way, if you're going to see this movie, do it in IMAX.
Do it in
yourself
IMAX.
the favor
Yeah,
and
it's
see it in
pretty
IMAX.
amazing.
It's
yeah,
that
don't
good.
expect 3D like they advertised
They
in
actually
the commercial.
They didn't
even
advertise it in 3D. They
Yeah,
didn't.
Did you? I didn't even hear that.
They let
Just
you know
see
real
it in
quick.
IMAX.
But we've talked about it for so long. Let's give it our final thoughts real quick. Just let everybody know our final thoughts. What's your final thoughts, Mr. B, man?
I love this movie. That's it. Go.
Dude, I give it a straight 10. I'm sorry, I do. I
Right.
do. I love it. I love it. I know that it's a shaky story. I get that, but I'm okay with that. And the reason I'm okay with that is unlike other monster movies, they don't try to focus too hard on the origins of Godzilla. They just go, Godzilla's a god. I think he's here to help us. Move on. And
Exactly.
it's just him kicking ass.
Exactly.
I love it.
Exactly. My final
10.
thoughts on this movie, I loved it too, man. I give it a 9.5. The reason I give it a 9.5 is because I know that the next one's going to be awesome. And by the way, guys, if you hadn't known, this movie did so well Thursday, the day before the opening day, that they already announced the sequel. It did that well.
They made almost over $200 million for this movie.
It's the best grossing Godzilla ever. But that's all
He
we got
broke
for tonight,
records.
guys. That's
Yep.
all we got for tonight. We're
Right,
going to go
JoJo.
ahead and call it right there. Guys, please feel free to comment below. Let us know what you think. See us.